Well, I guess I am live. Let me make sure. A lot of people don't believe that sometimes, particularly me. Let's see where I am here. I see over the weekend stuff. Let me see what I got here. Do you hear me okay on YouTube? I wonder if you hear me. Okay, everybody hear me okay? Can you send me a note that you hear me okay? Anybody, somebody tell me you hear me okay, okay? Because yep, good. Well, if you've been reading the news, I'm going to talk about healthcare because that's what the Congress is going to talk about soon. And I think it's, I hear you okay, great, okay. Jim Murphy, hi, Jim Murphy, great. I just want to make sure that everybody hears all this stuff. Well, healthcare is pretty important to all of us, right? And of course, the big shots are now talking about it, right? And so they're going to make life better for us, but it's, to me, it's better for whom? That's the thing. It's better for whom? So who's getting the good deal out of this? I'm trying to read the... See, actually, I'm an old guy, so I got to read the thing, and it's hard wearing my glasses, reading. You know, you get close to read something, then you have to move your head and everything. So I look like a crazy old fart when I'm doing these things, and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So, what do you think of that title? What to do when Congress takes away your health care? How do you like that? Yeah, they're going to maybe just take it away. Well, you know, here's what bothers me. You know, whatever your politics are or whatever, but it's sort of, I see ideology, whether you're left or right. It's sort of like gluttony. You know, everybody thinks that this one way solves every problem in the world. And then I worry about motives. What are the people's motives for doing this? Yeah. Well, I don't know. It seems to be in the last, 20, 30 years, I'm an old guy, been around here for one. Pro is the opposite of con. Notice the word progress. I guess, did I say something about that? I don't know. Pro is the opposite of con. Progress, okay. And it just seems that, the rich folks, whatever the ideology is really just seeing a game in the system in a way. Take a look at this graph here. There's a graph that shows the line on top is the percent of wealth that is owned by 90% of the country. So that's how much of the wealth that, people, 90% of us own in the country. So you see, back in the 80s, it was up to 36%, okay? And the top 0.1%, this is just hardly anybody. The richest of the rich, they owned about 9%. Okay, so back in the 80s, we had, 90% of us own 36% of the wealth in the United States, and the 0.1% owned about 9%. Okay, now look at now 90% own the same as the top 0.1%. I mean, they're both at 22%. So you see, the 90%, their part of the pie shrank. It shrank from 36% down to 22%. The top 1/10 of 1% grew from 9% to 22%. So that's how much of the marbles they're taking. I mean, that's what I see. And to me, it's by being in Washington, and I'm biased, so I'm sure there's a lot of reasons for a lot of things. And if anybody has another reason, I love to hear. Just let me know where I'm screwed up. But they come to town and they jimmy the system. If you could pass a law to make millions of dollars, that's easier than that's easier than sort of like developing a new product or trying to figure out marketing or something like that. And so why? If you could pass a law, that's a lot easier than doing anything else. So that's why the headline you see in the new tax cut. I mean, the new health care bill. Okay, now the health care bill. Here's what it means. Okay, they're going to cut Medicaid, by almost $1 trillion. Okay, so it's $1 trillion that they have to cut. okay, or they want to cut. They're going to cut trillion. And so they say about 23 million people are going to lose health care. 23 million people. You know, I mean, there's, gosh, there's only like 300 million people in the United States. So, you know, that's 7 or 8% of us. But, you know, I'm sure that that's a big part of the people who can't afford health care, you know, are going to be lost. So that's 23 million going to lose their health care, and to create $1 trillion. So the government's going to create $1 trillion by cutting off 23 million people. Now here's what happens though. That $1 trillion goes to a tax cut for the wealthy. So the wealthy is going to get $1 trillion of tax cut. Yeah. So how do you use a law for the health care to give $1 trillion in tax cut? I thought we were supposed to talk about tax cut, you know, another time. And it seems, and I'm not an expert, I just follow this every day. It seems to me that in order to pass anything, you know, to give a tax cut, they have to make it revenue neutral. In other words, they have to save as much money somewhere else as they, you know, give somewhere else. So in order to give a tax cut, to cut down the amount of money coming in, they have to cut the amount of money going out. So that means 23 million people who can't afford health care aren't going to get it, but we have all these rich folks are going to get $1 trillion. Actually, Warren Buffett in this tax code, he came out and said he's going to make over $600,000 a year because of this tax cut. Yeah, so this health care bill is going to give Warren Buffett $600,000 extra a year. So he's getting over $500,000 extra a year, and 23,000 million people are going to lose health care. Now, I don't know, it seems to be that, you know, what our priorities are. But now what I want to lead into is still people don't have health care. Now, you know, so whatever happens on that, you know, is going to happen, and you want to lobby one way or another, you know, that's okay. But what I want to do is show you about programs that are already out there. So this is what you could do if you don't have health care now, or you lose it with the new law or whatever, is to find existing programs. We have a whole bunch of existing programs out there that very few people know about. So that's what I'm trying to do. And they're not perfect. You know, nothing's perfect. Nothing is guaranteed. You got to bust your ass to find them. You got to see if you're qualified or whatever. But man, if you need the health care, you got to try. And that's the important thing, is go out and find something. You know, you just don't sit, oh, they didn't pass a law to help me. Well, God, then you got to use this other stuff. It's not the greatest, you know, it's not the best, but maybe it'll be something. And maybe it'll give you some help. Now, I've done a report on this that at letsgo.com/tutor that you could download. I'll show you how to find these organizations wherever you are in the United States, because you have to know how to use Google to find them. But I'm going to give you a whole bunch right now, so you know, if you want to do it all yourself, here it is. Okay, now first thing you want to do is find out for prescription drugs. If you have trouble paying for prescription drugs, okay, go to this website, pparx.org. And that's a website that shows you every manufacturer of prescription drugs has discounts or free prescription drugs depending on income. So everything is different and whatever. But go there, find out, try, fill out the damn paperwork, whatever the hell it is. I mean, I got videos of people who save like $300–400 a year, a month, you know, on this again. So it's pparx.org. pparx.org. Now also every state and county, they almost all have some kind of state programs, maybe in discount drugs or free drugs for certain people and things like that. And there's an interesting website, it's not complete, but it's not bad, to find out about what's in your state. And you go to staterxplans.us, state, S-T-A-T-E, rxplans.us, and you put in your state there, and you'll see the major prescription drug programs for your state. So that's good to know about. So you have two places now to help for prescription drugs, and that's right. There's all requirements for each, but man, you go and try. What the hell? And the requirements may be different. I mean, all you know for sure is that you're not going to get anything if you don't try. You don't know for sure you're going to get it, but you know for sure you're not going to get it if you don't try. So that's why you just have to get out and try. Okay, now here's for sliding scale clinics. There's a lot of clinics that treat any kind of health problem you have, for free or a sliding scale, depending on your income. Now, I find usually your county has a good list, depending on where you live. The list varies what's available. There is a national list. It may not be as complete, but it's a good place to start. And that you go to find a health center. Okay, find a health center .hrsa.gov. Remember, everything I'm telling you about, most everything anyway, will be a .org or a .gov. So find a health center .hrsa.gov. And I'll also put all this list of websites I mentioned. On YouTube will be in the notes section, and I'll put another thing on my board or whatever you call it, my front page with all the lists. About an hour or so after I finish this. Okay, so now we have 2 places for prescription drugs: pparx.org, staterxplans.us, and now for getting care. You need any kind of care to see a physician, a doctor, and things like that, and you don't have money, or don't have insurance, or you can't afford the copay, then it's findahealthcenter.hrs.gov. Okay. Now there's actually more. Usually like in the research reports I do, I find a whole lot more that another place to do is your county health center. And actually that's a place to start for anything. Go to your county. So if you Google right now the name of your county and then health department and gov, make sure it's gov, and you'll find there, and they could point you a lot. So they're a good place to check into when you're needing health care. And I got a bunch of videos of people who run these things. I mean, that's what they're there. They're there to help people in their county get health coverage, and that's what they're there for. Okay, here's another thing that people don't know about. Hospitals have to pay you. Have to treat you if you can't afford the bill. And I don't mean emergency room hospital, just for the emergency, but no. There's certain hospitals. Now, it's not every hospital. That's why you have to find out which hospitals. See, hospitals agreed at one time to get all this government money, and they said they'll treat they'll treat a whole bunch of people for free, if they have trouble paying the bill. But you'll never see a sign at the hospital, free care, come and get it. And they're going to bleed you like any other commercial operation to get as much money as they can from you. But here you could find out the list of the hospitals to see if there's something in your, and it's called the Hill-Burton Act is the agency it's covering. So if you go and Google Hill, HILLBURTON, and may put .gov, and what you're looking for is a list of hospitals that are covered under the Hill-Burton Act. Oh, that disappeared. I'm sorry, I couldn't see that. No. So that's how to find that. That's Hill-Burton, HILLBURTON. Okay, I told about your county. I always go to county. Now, here's another thing people do, particularly if it's something that's not being treated, and you go to see a dozen doctors, nobody's treating you. Okay, you can get the best doctors in the world to treat your condition for free. This is where the millionaires go, and it costs nothing, But they find out about it, and the rest of us do it. And this is in clinical trials. This is where doctors and researchers get grants to treat conditions, that they haven't really found out a good cure for yet. Like I was going to go and get a dental. Listening to it. Here it is. Because they were studying single dental implants. So my dentist was going to charge me $6,000 or something like that. And I found this clinical trial, the National Institutes of Health, give it to me for free. Yeah, you see, I still have the whole. Actually, I went on Larry King and told about it. And this poor doctor was going to a clinical trial. I got 10,000 calls, so he booted me off to that. What's exactly what I need? Okay, so here's how to find it. Best doctors in the world. Clinicaltrials.gov. Clinicaltrials.gov. We get millions and millions and millions of dollars to people like that. My teeth are a mess. I need implants. Okay, I'll show you other places too for teeth after this. Okay, now here's an interesting, private website, and it's a .org. Remember, you want to look at .orgs. You want to stay away from .coms because they'll sound like the same thing. Oh, get free health care or whatever, and it'll just be somebody selling your name or getting all kind of stupid ads in front of you and stuff like that. But you don't. So now this is a nice site, I think, for finding free and low-cost help called NeedyMeds.org. Needy, like you need something. I need health care. I need new teeth. Okay, Needy, Needymeds, Needymeds.org. Okay, and you put in your zip code or whatever, and you see all the people they have with 10 miles. Now, none of these things have everything. That's why what you have to do, even though you go to NeedyMeds.org and you get 5 places near you and they don't have, there's still that still does not mean it's over. You know, that's why you have to keep going. What I'm giving you here is just places almost to start. You know, because a lot of times we just don't know. And here, every county has these too. Free condoms and STD prevention and treatment. That's right, you can get all that for free. Free breast and cervical cancer detection and treatment. That's all free. Alcohol and drug treatment centers. That's free at most counties too. Low-cost immunizations, or get rid of lead paint in your house. Usually free programs for that too. And here's another thing for seniors. There's aging. You have a local area office on aging. If you have problems relating to seniors, or a health problem, housing problem, or whatever, contact your local area office on aging. If you can't find them, you know what to do is call 211 and they'll find it. Now here's a nonprofit organization. It's a great research. It's called patientadvocate.org. Now patientadvocate.org. Now if you have trouble paying copay, you have trouble with living expenses because you have healthcare debts that are killing you or whatever. It's not the disease that's killing you; it's the debt that's killing you. They help with that. They'll even fight your hospital. They'll even fight your whoever gave you that big medical bill for you and try to help you get out of it. And they're called patientadvocate.org. And they have grants to help you pay for copays. Because that's the thing. I mean, you have copays like $3,000 a year or whatever. Man, we used to pay more for the health insurance premium. Now we're paying more in the copays, than the premium. So that's available. And remember, if your health insurance company screws you over, that you could contact either this organization, Patient Advocate, and also your state government. Okay. Patientadvocate.org. Somebody said, what's the last one? Patientadvocate.org. But also, if you have trouble with a health insurance company, they're all regulated at the state government. You call your state capital, and you look for the regulatory agency for health insurance companies. Now, they have an office that will investigate that company for you. Even if you're wrong, they'll go out and investigate it for you and try to get that bill taken care of or get you relief from it or forgiven altogether. Okay, now here's also, I found lots of sources for financial aid for patients. So financial assistance, like there's one for cancer. I found this at the National Institute of Health, cancer. So I think if you just put in financial assistance for cancer patients and make sure it's, patientadvocate.org, and make sure that this is a .com or a .net. Actually, this is at cancer.net. You're looking for financial assistance for cancer patients. Financial assistance for cancer patients at cancer.net. Now, I also found another one just for people with eye problems. You have anything wrong with your eyes? This is financial aid for eye care. See, people have done the research. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do for people to read. So because people don't research. People who like research finds things that no one else will ever find. So financial aid for eye care, and that's at nei.nih.gov, okay? nei.nih.gov, nei.nih.gov, nei.nih.gov. Okay, so you put that in, and then you look for financial aid for eye care. See, I mean, you got the best researchers in the world doing this kind of stuff. And that's what I love living in Washington. All this stuff is free, and I live off these people. I sell what they do. I get money, and they give it away for free. See, isn't that great? Okay, now dental care. Okay, here's some good places for dental care. Number one is that what I told you earlier about the the best doctors in the world, that's also dental. So that's health and dental. What was the name of that place? Clinical Trials, okay, clinicaltrials.gov. Okay, now the other place you want to, again, contact your county health department, tell them about dental care you're looking for. Now, here's some other places too, is go to your state dental society. They either give volunteer people, they have listing, or depending on where you live, they may have, I've seen so many that have listing of how to get free and low-cost dental care. So they're trying to help. Not all of them, but some of them do. So that's your State Dental Society. So if you Google that and make sure it's a .org or something like that. And now here's another thing, that volunteer dentists. DentalLifeline.org, DentalLifeline, DentalLifeline.org, okay? Now that is, and you put in your state and find dentists who volunteer. And actually the people who need a lot of that reconstruction survey, I remember running into a state a state dental society that had that on their list, the kinds of things that were available. So, you know, and a lot of them have like free 2-day clinics. I think in every state seems to have that. They have 2-3 days a year, or everybody just get in line and get all the help you need for free. You know, why don't they do that more? You know, that's it's a pity. So I guess it makes them feel good for a day. Then they go and pay for their yachts or whatever it is. No, I mean, everyone's trying in this life, so it's hard to beat up somebody. Okay, how about, now here's another thing. What about your pets? Your pets now are costing more in medical care than you are. Okay, now the HumaneSociety.org has a great list of not only food you get for free for your pet, but medical care for free and discount medical care, and all the nonprofit organizations that do that. Oh, by the way, also for dental, you know, a good place is the dental schools in your state. They have clinics, you know, students and professors that work on you at a fraction of what it costs, you know, on the street at a regular thing. So somebody with a lot of reconstructive stuff there, that's another good option, you know, to have. And also the vet schools have that kind of thing for pets. So that's another place to check. So the HumaneSociety.org. So that's what I think you should be looking into. That's what to do when Congress takes away your health care, or whatever the hell they're going to do. But even if they don't, you're still going to need some extra help, and that's what these programs are for. People who have trouble paying for any of this stuff. And like I say, if you go to letsgo.com/tutor, and actually I'll give you 50% off on the report if you want me to do the research for you, or teach you step by step. That's what the video ebook is. It's a step-by-step on how to find all these things for your pet, for dentists, and for healthcare. So that's letsgo.com/tutor, and you'll see it. And you use this code is HEALTH, HEALTH 50. And you get 50%, half price, and that's because Congress is going to vote on health care. Let's give it away all for free, or at least half price. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do today. Well, thanks for putting up with this. I hope it's helped somebody. And most important about this is share it with other people. And I'm going to put all the links that I talked about up on YouTube and Facebook, but pass them around. Make sure that people know about this stuff. I mean, what could be better, to give a friend than a place to get, $1,000 worth of prescription drugs, or to give a friend a place where they could get their teeth fixed or whatever. That's better than buying some junk at the mall. And this is free. You can show them how to do it free. So why not? Man, we start helping each other, instead of just spending money. That seems we'll all be for. Give a voice to the voiceless. Oh, how do I give a voice to the voiceless? I mean, that means you can't talk or whatever. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. See, I'm so dumb. I'm an old guy. I don't even see the obvious. My mind's traveling somewhere. But I certainly can find stuff, and that's why it's out there. It takes work. There's no guarantees, but it is an option. And if you don't try it, like I say earlier, you know for sure nothing's going to happen if you try nothing. So even you got to at least try something and see what happens. And really what happens, that leads to something else that I didn't even know about yet. So they'll tell you something that I don't know yet, but you have to get there first to find out the other stuff that I don't know. That's the way it works. And that's why I love doing research, because I find stuff I never even thought to ask for. See, that's why we're the question mark suits. You know, it's not the answers, it's the questions that are important. Yeah, call your congressional reps if you want the bill or you don't want this bill. But to me, it seems like we're giving $1 trillion to the richest people in the world, and we're putting 23 million, taking away their health care. I mean, I don't know about you, if that was my house, and I lived in a house that was giving everything in the house to the richest guy in the house, and the poor people got nothing, well, shit, I'd leave town, wouldn't you? Anybody for Canada? No, but we could solve this problem ourselves and do it. So let me know. I'll be back sooner or later. Sooner, I'm sure, because this is fun, and I got so much stuff to share. Let me know. letsgo.com/tutor, and the code, the coupon code when you check out to get the healthcare report and half price is HEALTH, HEALTH, 50% off, HEALTH 50. Great, thank you guys. Oh, and you can reach me at letsgofreeradio@gmail.com. Letsgofreeradio@gmail.com.